Are we living in a digital dictatorship?
Sounds an awful lot like a dictatorship to me.
If you look back at the colonial times, the big empires of the past were conquering people's land, resources, and even taking humans as slaves. Today's dominant colonialists are tech billionaires, conquering our minds by exploiting knowledge of who you are based on what you share and how you behave on the internet.
We've spent a lot of the last few years building systems that are more sophisticated than any other company has at this point, and frankly, a lot of governments too.
And they are also colonizing the very fabric of life.
Well, Bill Gates is actually continuing the work of Monsanto.
But are we even aware that we're being colonized? It's important to realize that billionaire philanthropists, whether they're George Soros or Bill Gates or whoever, are not the solution to our global problems.
When Bill Gates pours money into Africa for feeding the poor in Africa and preventing famine, what's he doing? He's pushing the failed green revolution, he's pushing chemicals, pushing GMOs, pushing patents.
And when renowned Indian scholar and activist Vandana Shiva talks about patents, it's important to say that one company holds the exclusive rights to gene editing technology, Editis Medicine, backed by Bill Gates and Google Ventures.
And all he does is have to run through a computer and do a genomic reading and then take patents. So he's taking patents through gene editing, he's taking patents through digital genomic mapping.
And if you think this is a wild conspiracy theory, you should know that around 20% of the human genome, more than 4,000 genes, are already covered by at least one US patent. That's right. Pharmaceutical companies, scientists, and universities hold patents on many of our genes. This means that you need a license from them to do research on the genes they essentially own, and that corporations decide on who can do research on certain human genes, as well as how much any resulting therapy or diagnostic test will cost. This is outrageous to us, but it's completely in line with the only things that billionaires understand: power and profits. And to make sure we don't rebel, they mine our personal data.
One young man owns the primary means of communication on planet Earth, unimpeded by law and therefore unimpeded by democracy.
Harvard scholar Shoshana Zuboff is, of course, talking about Harvard dropout Mark Zuckerberg. These billionaire dictators have used their enormous wealth to hijack our democracy. This is a real threat, and you need to wake up.
The problem is their power. It's the gatekeeping power that allows them to manipulate their users, profit off of data, and squash competition.
I would argue it's time to break these guys up. I think that they have become too powerful and that markets are failing.
#BreakUpBigTech before it's too late.